This is Old Snake, and when I'm not out saving the world, I'm listening to Podcast Beyond.
Welcome to Podcast Beyond.
Beyond.
What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Roper, your host of Podcast Beyond this week. Editor-in-chief of the PlayStation team. And the whole team is here today.
Yay.
Praise, Jeebus. Greg, say hi.
Hey, everybody.
Jeff, say hi.
Pass the ammunition.
Ryan?
Yep.
I didn't say hi.
Okay.
You lose, Simon Says.
Oh!
Lol.
I said yup, though. So I
know,
didn't say
Well,
hi.
none of us said hi.
You still lose.
Yeah, you didn't follow directions because I didn't
get the game.
actually ask you to say anything. I just said your name.
I had a bad childhood, I guess. I just don't understand the game.
Very good. Let's get right into the Roper Report.
Some news.
If you live in Canada,
Yay, Charles.
Hey?
you might be a redneck.
What are you talking about?
A knee slapper.
Also, if you live in Canada, Sony is adjusting the prices of PlayStation content on the PlayStation Network store.
It's about time.
As of today, maybe even. We don't live in Canada, so we can't directly check it. And we don't know exactly what the price differences were going to be. But so if you live in Canada, go on there and see if there's any games you didn't want to buy because you thought they were too expensive. Because maybe they'll be cheaper now.
Supposedly, the Canadian PS3 users were getting charged at least 2 to 3 times more what North America or what USA users were getting charged. For
Yeah.
content.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean,
They have free healthcare. They have the money.
well, Rock Band tracks or other things. I mean, like things that were pretty much like $2 would cost them like 5 to 6 or higher
That's
for
crazy
one
talk.
downloadable track.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the Canadian currency translation means they should be about $1,000, and they're only charging $5 or $6. So anyway, I see jack those prices up. Whatever, terrible. Hey man, they got lots of beer over there. Fatal Inertia Ex or X, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's EX. Is coming to the PlayStation 3 in May in the form of a downloadable PlayStation Store title.
Who's excited?
Keep in mind that this game has been on the 360 for what, a year or so. And it was supposed to be a launch title for the PS3.
Yo.
Lol. Anyway, but it's coming to the PlayStation Network at the end of May. $30. Has a new environment which includes 8 new courses.
Slow
Jeff is
clap.
doing a slow clap. Much better news.
It better
It's
be
a rumor,
better.
but it's much better news. Is that there's rumored that Bioshock is coming to the PS3 this fall.
What?
What? And the cool thing is, if the rumor is correct, it's going to have the downloadable content built in there, so you get it right from the start.
What?
So that'd be pretty cool. And then, even though everybody said that it wasn't ever coming, but I guess that it wasn't coming when they were talking about it, and now it is or something. Who knows? Anyway, and then the last bit is that everybody knows this already, but the Metal Gear Online beta is up.
Finally.
Yeah,
It's
finally.
about time.
It's there. Yeah, Jeff, you've played it,
Yes, I have.
Good.
Spent quite a lot of time.
so that means it works.
Yes.
Unlike the Grand Theft Auto 4 multiplayer, we couldn't get the words yesterday.
That was horrible. That was horrible.
Editor fail. Fail.
Epic. Fail.
Now, of course, everybody bought Grand Theft Auto 4 this week. But
Did that come out this week?
I think it did.
Oh.
What's
but I think
what's
you have a
that?
list of telling us what else came out.
You're
Greg.
right. Let me dig it up. Oh, here it is. It's the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors.
That's a good jam.
That is
number
really good.
is
I like that a lot.
that one.
I'm gonna
We should
reject-
also point out that Ryan is actually under the weather today. So
Yeah.
he's given everything he's got, and it might not be enough.
He's going to be hoarse at the end
My
of the show.
throat's going to start bleeding somehow. and I won't even know.
That is not the
Just
visual I
keep
needed.
it
You
inside.
gotta lay off
Keep
those
it
unfiltered.
inside. Don't spray it like 28 days and weeks later.
Yeah.
So, of course, not many people are crazy enough to go up head-to-head with Grand Theft Auto 4, which came out on the PlayStation 3 this week. But when you think games that could go toe-to-toe with Rockstar's Giant, you think SNK Arcade Classics.
Oh, yes.
Out on both the PSP and the PS2 this week. Also, look to the PS Store today and download Echochrome, the full game, PS3 and PSP. And that was the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors. Oh, I forgot Iron Man's coming out tomorrow, maybe. So there you go. That's on all the systems.
Yeah. Very good. Greg, you saw Iron Man the movie last night.
I did see Iron Man the movie last night.
How was it?
It's good. It gets
Yeah?
my seal of approval.
Very good.
Like a big seal or like a medium-sized seal?
No, it gets. I mean, it gets I wouldn't say a big seal, but a large seal between.
Is that supposed to
small-
be good out of
Is
10?
it it
Yes.
that seal of approval that claps? The actual seal, like the animal.
No, not that seal.
Not that
That'd be a
one.
big seal.
So like
My only problems were I didn't get enough Iron Man. I felt like it's a good movie, and then I felt the ending was abrupt, although not bad.
Let me ask you this, because
Okay.
in the trailers, I thought the trailers were all right, except that I hated the fact they had
The entire
song.
movie? Oh.
Well, no, well, yeah, the entire movie, but also the song in there. Is the actual song in the movie?
Yes,
Where is it?
at the end.
Okay, is it the credits, or is it like while he's killing everybody? At the end?
Bylars.
Yeah, I mean, turn it off in 2 seconds. But it's part of the abrupt ending. And one of
Okay.
the reasons I think the ending might have lost some of it is because
Possible
it
trilogy.
sounded like the sound might have dipped out.
Uh,
So it's kind of like it's a movie. It was a Sega screening, so it was like me and all these other video game journalists, including ex-IGNer Doug Perry, current IGNer Database Mike, my wife Craig Harris, Jack,
We still
Nick.
gotta get-
wait, to clarify, your wife is not Craig Harris. It's your wife, and then also Craig
Well,
Harris. Is
there's
there.
commas in here. I was
Okay.
dropping like and in there. Anyways, and a whole bunch of other people. Shane Bethlehem from One Up, and so yeah, you're all in there. And then the movie, there's this abrupt ending, and then it was like we didn't know if we should clap. The sound had dropped out, and then there was like a small smattering of clapper, and then there was like, wait,
Clapter.
did other people hate this? What just happened? And then we all were like, no, it was good, okay, but it was just weird.
That's interesting.
Robert Downey Jr. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs
Excellent.
up.
He gets
Yeah.
he gets a big seal of approval right in his face. He was awesome. Gwyneth Paltrow
that
was very
the
good.
role
She's
he
hot
was
as hell in
born
this
to
movie.
Play. I mean, seriously,
Who's
Tony
that?
Stark,
Gwyneth
Robert Downey
Paltrow.
Jr.
Terrence Howard, I did not like too much as Rhodey.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It wasn't his crash performance.
Who's Rhodey?
Well, no kid.
Iron Man's military bud.
Yeah.
War.
Who also becomes
War
War
Machine?
Machine?
Yeah.
Oh, is that War Machine?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't say anything.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it's pretty obvious that everybody knows it's going up for a sequel. Everybody.
Oh
knows
yeah, well Favreau was talking about
Everybody
a
knows.
trilogy.
So now that was an interesting topic, but it's not topic of the week.
it. What? It's not.
Topic of the week is we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto because whatever, it's Grand Theft Auto and everybody wants to talk about it.
OMGs.
So I know we'll get to the reader man a little bit, but a lot of the people we have at least a handful of emails in here that are just what is the coolest thing you've seen in the game so far? What are some memorable things you've seen? I know Ryan, you had an example. I wouldn't say it's a good one, but you had an example.
Ryan's
Yeah,
making
I will
notes.
tell it in a second. I'm
What
just
are you
writing one
doing?
thing down real quick.
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's not like you're killing the transition to the topic of the week or anything.
Yeah,
the
or
biggest
slowing
section
it
of the
down at
show.
all.
It's cool.
You know, just
Keep
pull that
writing your,
handbrake.
keep writing your little
going.
notes.
Yeah.
The secret notes.
To himself. Secret notes. Yeah.
All right, Jeff, what have you seen?
You know, I actually have not seen that much because yesterday was the first time I've even played the game. So, you know, like
Noob.
so I'm pretty much experiencing the entire thing along with like pretty much everybody else. But I think the funniest thing that I saw was an accident that wound up happening on the street, and an ambulance comes racing up. And a guy leaps out and is like, "Don't you die on me!" And like the guy's like on the ground. Then the ambulance workers throw all their stuff back in the ambulance and drive off. And the guy's still lying there. And I was like, "Are you serious?"
That's pretty awesome.
And it just like drove on, like rolled over the guy and kept going. It was that was pretty funny.
I don't know. I had a pretty good thing yesterday where we were dicking around with the multiplayer trying to get to work, and we were between games. I just walked outside the apartment, equipped some grenades, just tossed them in front of me. There's a car just sitting there in the street, and I threw underneath the car. And first I threw to some people in the street, so they got blown up. So the cops showed up. So then the cops pulled up right in front of me. So I just roll a grenade underneath the car, and I just stand there. I don't even bother moving, and just wait for the grenade to go off. And it goes off, and all the cops go flying in the air. But it went like on the far side of the car, and so the car comes tumbling at me and hits me in the head and kills me.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
I have a few stories from my multiplayer sessions yesterday.
Let's hear 'em.
Which are actually pretty sweet. 2 words, first of all. Helicopter race, which is easily one of the coolest modes. Have you guys tried that yet? We had a huge game going. This was on Xbox Live, by the way, but that's okay.
That's why it worked.
Yeah, that's why it worked.
Should we talk about that real quick before we get anything else? So we
Oh, yeah,
just
we
had a
can do
horrible editor beatdown yesterday. We tried to
can-
do.
Yeah.
And the PlayStation Network's all screwed
We'd
up.
like to thank everybody that did try to play with us
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that was frustrating for us as well as you. We're sure.
By the way, we're gonna when we come to the editor beatdown segment this week, we'll tell you how we're gonna try to redo that again. But we'll stick around and we'll tell you that later.
Okay.
This
Real
is
quick,
our
is
way
it-
of keeping you listening to
The
the
editor
podcast.
beatdown thing, we'd all be together. I'd invite all the kids to play with us, and then we'd start the game, and it would crash, and then somebody else would host it. But like we tried to do cops and crooks, but it wouldn't put us on 2 teams, so we'd all be on one team.
2 teams. At
And then you
times.
can't start with
you
one
can't-
That was
so, I
great.
mean,
It didn't even let you have 2 teams. The necessary number of teams was not allowed.
Or like you'd invite somebody and then it literally would rip the invite away, so all of a sudden you couldn't be invited.
It's like, Jeff, join my game. You can't.
yeah,
I'm GTA, I don't
or,
like
or
you.
you'd automatically get kicked from the lobby as soon as you stepped on. So like you'd spawn and then you'd automatically be bounced, and it was like,
Yeah.
what the hell's that? What's going on with this?
Yeah.
The most fun we had was in the lobby with
yeah,
when it
that's
actually
an
worked.
awesome lobby system where you used to
Yeah.
run around with like all the machine guns and helicopters and rocket launchers everywhere.
Yeah, the
That's
lobby
a great
stuff
idea.
worked fine, but when we try to start an actual
Yeah,
mode,
the game
it
would just
it would break down.
crash out on you.
Anyway,
so-
Real quick too, that Rockstar's aware of the problem, and they're saying it's more Sony's issue, and so Sony is also aware, and they're preparing to make a statement. So
They better make a
yeah.
statement.
stay tuned on that one.
They better make
Yeah.
a statement and a big patch or something.
Well, yeah.
Maybe it's something that doesn't need to be patched. Maybe something got unplugged at Sony HQ.
Maybe.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's going to be a patch. I think it's a server patch because apparently it was working fine right when the game came out, and it sort of
more
works.
and more people get on it, and
Yeah,
everything
and then it
goes
starts
haywire.
dying.
Minute
So
toolbar.
it's a traffic issue.
Anyway.
It's a trap.
So-
Anyways, your
So-
cool
Back to you.
multiplayer
Yeah,
helicopters.
All right, so I have to say, helicopter race, big thumbs up for me. Like right at the start, we had like a good amount of people. Like I would say, what's the cap? Is it 16?
16, yeah.
So it was either like 14 or 15 people, almost the max, and everyone gets a helicopter. Okay, and so at the beginning of the race, you get like a huge countdown, and so right when you do that, if you rotate the camera around, it looks so epic because there's like 15 military helicopters just like hovering in the sky, like ready to go. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And as I called it, as soon as it went 1 go, like everybody just spiraled out of control because no one knew how to fly. And so like one guy was like, "Oh my god, no!" And, like flew into the ocean. Like people are running into each other, and it was awesome.
I was playing
And-
Hangman's Noose last night, and the same thing happened. We climbed into, or no, bombed a base too. And it was me and Damon before Hillary joined us, and we were playing. And I'm like, "You ever flown a helicopter?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Go ahead." And so he's doing fine. And then we get to the ship where you have to drop the bombs, and he just tilts it up in the air, and we just go back into the water, and like the tail explodes off. Like, oh god!
I love that helicopter is fantastic. Also, we tried a motorcycle race, which is also hysterical because it's really, really tight, really fast. And for some reason, as soon as we got going, it was on a highway and that led over a bridge. So we all it was this bottleneck, and that's not a good idea. 15 people on motorcycles in a bottleneck. For some reason, I'm the only idiot who, when I was doing fine, and all of a sudden this guy, checks me, and instead of just kind of nudging around, my guy just goes, rockets off the bridge and, flies through the air, lands on the ground, and I actually had to run on foot all the way back up onto the bridge, hijack a random, car or something. So I was driving a car while everyone else had a motorcycle. It was awesome.
That's very interesting, Ryan.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, whatever.
What? No,
What?
say
Say
it.
it.
Now you've
Now
teased
go
us.
ahead.
No, you said you had more stories than that. I thought you were gonna keep this segment going.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could definitely keep going.
Make something up.
We had a joke. I think I could say this, but one of the motorcycles is called the Faggio. But
Yeah.
But
that's been in the game since Vice City, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically a scooter or something. We
Yeah,
were
yeah.
obviously not referring it as the Faggio. We were
Yeah, yeah.
using a different terminology, and I
think is what you're supposed to do.
right. And
You're
we had
using the Liberty City accent, is what
yeah,
you're saying.
and we had a race where I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with the Faggio. I'm just going for it. And everyone else had these souped up motorcycles and those racing bikes that have the curved front and stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
what the actual terminology for it is. But,
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
well, they have a
Crotch
special
rocket.
name. But anyway, so I'm rocking the Faggio, which is just it has the
hairdryer
the
with handlebars.
the most pathetic sounding motor possible. And as all these people just rocket forward, it's just
You're delivering pizzas?
way behind. And yeah, I was basically delivering pizzas, and that was also awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently every time a person would get knocked off at some point and they would respawn next to a Faggio instead of their bike. So slowly the race was reduced to a bunch of Faggio races. It was awesome also.
I gotta tell you, I saw some pretty cool things when I was playing the game before it was out for during the review sessions. And so we're playing with a bunch of QA guys from Rockstar, and they'd been playing the game, for however long years or whatever. And so these dudes knew how to do everything because they'd done it a billion times. So I was playing one team deathmatch. A guy gets a helicopter, and he's just tilting it down with the blades maybe a foot off the ground and just hovering straight down the street and chopping everyone in his way. That was kind of sick. And I got to say the greatest thing of all time is well, okay, there's two greatest things of all time. One of the greatest things of all time is Rocket's Only Deathmatch, because it's like a war zone. Everybody's seen that. But if you have not played Melee-only Team Deathmatch in the prison yard, you have to do this. Because what happens is we played, I think there was 3 teams in this one, and then we had like 12 to 14 people. So you got like 4 or 5 dudes on a team, and you just start with your guys. Everybody has bats. And basically you run through the prison yard, and when you see some straggler by himself, everybody just runs over and beats the crap out of this guy on the ground. It's very disturbing, but also awesome. And then eventually everybody's like, okay, I'm leaving the prison, and goes and gets cars, and then you're trying to beat up cars at the back because nobody has any guns. And
That is
it's
awesome.
It's pretty rad. That's a very fun and, as I said, very disturbing mode. But
the whole mechanic of just being able to like hop into a car, a bunch of people piling with you, knock out the windows, and are shooting out of the windows. It's just a great dynamic. It just works really well.
You know what I'm sad about that though is I had the plan yesterday of getting into a cab and then shooting out and then gunning out of the side of the windows as the cab driver was driving me around, and you can't make it work. As soon as it happens, the cab driver stops and gets out of the car.
Oh, really?
Even if you hit like the fast one where he drives like a maniac, he just gets out of the car.
Although, has anybody... No, this is one of the things that I actually remember talking to Hillary about, which was getting like a party of 16 people, one person being the bus driver and 15 other ones like basically turning the bus into an armored fortress, and all of them shooting out of the window. Like,
Can you get that
has
many people
anybody
into the
tried that?
bus?
I don't know. Like that was the question I was wondering. It was like, has anybody actually tried piling onto a
That
bus
would be
with
pretty
many
sick.
Because that'd be awesome.
Post in the comments
That'd be
during the
such-
podcast.
Not only a comment thing, but like obviously a YouTube like.
Well,
awesome video.
you know what we can try is if the editor beatdown actually works tomorrow, we'll try to actually do that, which would be pretty rad.
That would be pretty sick.
So, yeah, that'd be good times. So if you wanna get into a bus and kill everyone, join us for editor beatdown, which again we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
stories or comments on GTA? I mean, we can go on forever about the game.
What's the
as
coolest
a whole,
single
but-
player mission you played, Rob?
Oh man, well we're at about the same spot, so we're dealing with Packy.
Yeah.
And I haven't done the Bake Heist, which I heard is the greatest.
Yeah,
thing
that's
ever.
my favorite. I'm ahead of you now, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm
Whatever.
running the same place. Yeah, but anyways, the bank heist, which I mean is like they have images from it in the trailer for sure, and then like the commercials, and it's like I think the GameStop image right now on our site actually has it in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not spoiling anything for anybody, but I mean that's just an amazing mission. It's a bit annoying. Because it's one of those God damn, like it's one of you don't expect them to kill you here or do this, and it's such a long mission that it really sucks to get really deep into it and get killed and have to go back. But it's really awesome. It's just like Heat or any movies like that where you're pulling off some gigantic heist and things go wrong and all this crap happens.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. Around that spot is where the game starts to get super good. There's one mission where I won't even spoil the setup, but basically you get to the top of a building, and then all of a sudden the cops come in, so you have to fight your way outside of the building and then get away. That one's pretty cool. There's another one where you have to go get a package for somebody. They've lost some drugs. You have to go get it outside of an old like torn down area. And you go in there, there's like a bunch of dudes inside. There's got to be like 20 guys.
Yeah.
You methodically take them out, and then all of a sudden the cops show up, and you just have to haul ass out of there. And I think you start with like 3 or 4 stars, so it's not easy to do.
That's the weirdest thing about this one is trying to figure out when to sit there and stop and pop, and then when you just book it and just to freaking go. Because there's so many times where I'll be like, all right, now I'm supposed to run, and I'll run, and there'll be like 30 cops. It's like, damn.
Yeah, but a lot of times if you sit there and you wait, like
They just keep respawning. They keep driving
coming,
in,
and
yeah.
it just gets worse and worse for you. And you have to. Sometimes you just have to get out of there as soon as you possibly can.
On one
And
of those
basically just
missions
run
where I
for
went
it.
in and just killed somebody, won't ruin it. Like I went out and of course like I fought my way out of this giant building, got to the street, and cops were there and they were the only cars in the street. So like I walked out and I was like, crap, cops! Ran back in and like they started coming in and I'd shoot them, and I ran out and somehow they had parked 3 cop cars in a fashion that I couldn't get into any of them. Like the cops, the first car came up and was parked next to a newspaper stand, and like one of the ones that isn't destructible, and so I couldn't get in the passenger door. And then on the other side of him was another car that had slid in, blocking that driver's door and that passenger door. And then another cop car had slid in, and blocked the other driver's door. So I had to go all the way around to the 3rd car. And by the time I got there, like SWAT team was back over, so I had to run back in, get shot in the face.
Very good.
Shot in the face.
Shot in the face.
Shot in the face.
It's never good. It's the worst case of shot in the face I've ever seen.
Helicopter race.
Helicopter races.
Helicopters,
Do it.
yeah,
According to
it's
Ryan,
awesome
seal
in general.
approval.
Yeah, definitely. If you actually get people who know how to pilot the helicopter.
No, it's even better when they don't. That's my favorite part is watching somebody who doesn't know how to pilot the helicopter go down.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you,
Remember when we were doing the 6-axis tutorial, and was it you or Database Mike had the helicopter on the ground, propeller blades into the asphalt, just like that episode of Family Guy with the Petercopter, and it was just spinning around on the ground.
it was awesome.
Very good.
It was either of us, probably both.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to say anything else, or are we kind of done with topic of the week now?
The game's not a 10.
I don't know.
You don't think it's 10?
Probably like a 6.5. I wouldn't pick it up, probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick it up.
Like I said, I don't really have much to add because I just started. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
me
got
too.
a ways to go.
yeah, I know I do, but I'm looking forward to it.
Very good. All right, let's move on. It's well, I don't want to call out his name, but normally here's a segment where we learn some things.
Unholy name.
I will not speak his unholy name.
We don't want to resummon the
Do we have
demon.
what is going up on the PlayStation Network today?
Well, there's going to be a couple things. Obviously, we've already talked about Echo Chrome for PS3 and PSP coming out today. There should be a Dark Sector demo a couple weeks after.
A Dark Sector demo?
Yeah, Dark Sector demo.
Say
Whatever.
what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say what? Apparently, that's going to be coming out. Obviously, the Rock Band and Karaoke Revolution, American Idol tracks going up. A couple different videos, and then I believe over the next couple of days on the PlayStation blog, like Friday and next week, there should be some stories on Hotshots and Echo Chrome downloadable content coming out at some point, and there should be more free Eye of Judgment cards hidden in the blog or
Just
the
a
store or
box.
something.
By the way, I would like Ryan, you put up an
the box?
editorial on this, and I would like you just to comment on
Yes.
on the Eye of Judgment expansion pack.
So yeah, it's a very interesting. You just want me to break down exactly what it is?
Yeah, just give an overview. I want everybody to hear how stupid this is.
Okay, here's the setup. We have Eye of Judgment, which is the PS3 game that came out that uses the PlayStation Eye with some playing cards, and you put the cards down, the monsters show up on screen. Everybody laughed at me for playing it in the office, but I still thought it was neat.
And now
We didn't laugh at you for playing it. We laughed at you just going crazy about it.
Loved it.
Didn't you
Okay.
film a video review for like 3 hours playing?
Well, that was not my
Did you
fault.
give it a nine?
That was Baradon's fault because we had trouble setting up the lighting.
Okay, now to
stuff.
clarify,
Better
when
or
you buy
worse than
Eye of
Pokemon?
Judgment, you get the
Yes.
PlayStation Eye, but you get a starter deck.
Yeah, so the original purchase comes with the game, and the
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Eye, a stand, a mat for your cards, a starter pack, which is like I think. I forgot. I thought it was 30 cards, but I might be
But-
wrong
but
about the
you
number.
get
But
enough
you
cards to
basically
play.
yeah,
Fair
you-
share.
You get a fair share of cards. Yes, and this is all for I think 70. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that was the original
But
price
and then
point.
to add on more cards from the original stuff, you just go out and you buy booster packs.
Right,
And you
so
get
that's from the
additional
original
cards.
set. Like when the game launched, retailers also got a slew of cards that were all included in like an overarching first set of cards. So that makes total sense. I was totally fine with that. But then the second set comes along.
Which is essentially the first
set.
expansion, yeah.
The first expansion, but it's called the second set, Biolith Rebellion 2. So and they couldn't come up with a name for they just name it 2 on the original one because the original one's called Biolith Rebellion.
That's not the dumb part,
But
though.
anyway, so here's where it gets interesting. If you want to play with these new cards, well, if you want to face people with these new cards, you go into the game, you download a free update, and now you can play anybody who has these cards, and it's totally free.
You can have them play against you.
Right? They can have the new cards, and you can see them interact with them just fine. Everything's dandy, peaches and cream. But if you want to play with these new cards, all right, you have to go onto the PlayStation Store. You have to pay $15, $14.99. You download this thing that enables you to play with these cards. Then you go out and you have to pay upwards of $3 or more for every booster pack you buy to play with those cards. So basically you're paying $15 for absolutely nothing because the only
For them to throw a switch basically on the internal system.
because the only thing it changes is a very minute, and I'm sure it's helpful, but it's the most infinitesimally small change to like the interface.
Good work.
Like there's a little tiny adjustment in to the way it's organized on your HUD. That's it. Otherwise, it's like $15. Nothing happens. I just spent $15 on nothing, and then you have to go out and pay more money to play with the cards, which I just thought was very silly.
It's
Sounds
terrible.
silly.
Silly or a con?
Yes.
I think it's both.
What have you checked out? Like when you're doing these booster packs, are people still playing online or?
Are people still
Is
playing this game?
Is there
Period.
a community for this?
I have noticed that there is a couple rather impressive-looking fan sites that
Alright.
document a lot of the cards and break down stuff and talk about tournaments and whatnot. So I'm sure a game like this definitely has like a cult following. I'm not saying it's like a mainstream phenomenon or anything, but yeah. That $15 was so sketchy. It's like
terrible.
Roper made a good point to me the other day. Is he was like, someone goes on, has the original game and doesn't know anything about the expansion. They're like, hey, a $15 expansion and it's got all these new creatures. That's awesome. Downloads it and nothing happens. He's like, oh my god, where'd my $15 go? Terrible.
Yep.
I would feel bad for that person.
I like
Yes.
it when you do voices.
Oh my god.
Oh.
We should do a play one time on Podcast Beyond,
Yes.
with starring only Ryan.
I will say, I have performed in my English classes in high school.
Oh my god.
We need to get you on
Shakespeare.
Broadway.
I did perform
Ryan
Shakespeare.
Clements on Broadway. That'd be the greatest.
The one-man show.
Maybe not the greatest, but it'd be pretty good.
It would certainly not be the
You've seen
greatest.
Star Wars, the one-man show. Now here's Ryan Clements, the one-man beyond.
You know what it's time for?
What is it time for, Roper?
Mailbag.
Mail!
Chain mail.
Mail time!
Mail
Pigeon.
pattern baldness.
Mail
Mail truck.
Maelstrom.
Oh, wait, let me find the guy that
Junk
wrote
mail?
Mail Pigeon. Where is it? Hold on.
Mail pigeon.
somebody
That's,
sent
that's
it.
a new one too.
It's in here. John GPR wrote Mail Pigeon.
Mail pigeon.
So,
Mail
yeah,
pigeon.
credit to him for that.
Mail,
Maelstrom.
mail carrier pigeon.
Let's get right into it. So lots of people are asking. Most of the questions in here have to do with either GTA or another game that has a 4 at the end, Metal Gear Solid 4. A lot of people are asking the comparison of, since Jeff's played MGS4, he hasn't played a whole lot of GTA 4, which you just mentioned, and they want to know, could MGS4 get a 10? What's the comparison? We're not going to talk about any of that kind of crap because the game wasn't done yet, and also we're not going to be reviewing the game right now on the podcast. So anyway, we're not going to get to that. But there are some pretty good questions that are talking about MGS4 versus Metal Gear Online. One of them is Kenilink wants to know that now that we've played the MGO beta and you've finished MGS4, is there stuff that you can not do in Metal Gear Online that you can in Metal Gear Solid 4 or vice versa? And I think he's talking specifically about controls.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that you can do in MGS4 that's not in the beta. I mean, the beta by itself is pretty much just like a taste. It's pretty much giving you a quick taste to get you hooked so that you get your shakes and your withdrawal symptoms for June. And then when June hits, you can get your fix again. I mean, like, there's easily upwards of 70 weapons, items, and attachments that you get, which are barely even shown in the beta. There's a lot more, like, there's a ton more stuff that you can do. The Drebin Point system works completely differently. I mean, like, there's shades of it in the beta, but it works differently. The speed of the game is different. Snake moves differently. You kind of get a sense of it within the sneaking mission, primarily because, obviously Snake has better stats than your standard soldier, whoever you happen to create, regardless of your skill level. I mean, the low recoil that he has in the sneaking mode is practically the same within the game, which you can augment and change depending upon the accessory and the attachment that you have for your gun, whichever gun you decide to customize. I mean, like, there's a ton of stuff within 4 that you only get a bare glimpse of in the beta.
Very good. W. Solomon 1 says, how much better of a game would GTA have been if Rockstar would have utilized the space on the Blu-ray disc instead of making it identical to the 360 version? I'm going to say that I don't think that it could have happened because, there could be, they could have thrown in another city or some crap like that, which, time-wise would be impossible to have it released anytime now. But, as far as technology goes, if you're talking about higher texture resolution or whatever, that wouldn't have changed because, both systems have a total of 512 megs of RAM, so you're not going to get better textures out of it. There's already 200 and some odd songs in the game. You're not going to get more audio tracks. The dialogue is already completely crazy. You're not going to need to have fit more on there. That stuff isn't compressed,
It would seem like
in a
the
way
only
that you
thing
can tell
would
at least.
Would be like maybe television, like shows or commercials or whatever.
Yeah, maybe
That's about it.
maybe small things like the television shows or commercials. That's a good point. But of the 99% of the game that that you're talking about there could not have been a difference really because, it's they did everything the system's capable of that they were capable of creating for it right now. So yeah, that wouldn't have changed. Jim Power who is Mike Action sidekick, wants to know, did Greg upgrade from his big tube TV yet?
I did. I got a 42-inch Panasonic 1080p television. Plasma indeed. Chris Roper was nice enough to come around and harass Best Buy personnel for us.
But you got it from Costco.
Yeah, well, I ended up going there. But you were there for the day when we decided what TV we were getting.
Yes.
You helped me through the process. When the lady tried to tell me not to get Plasma, you stepped up and said, that's a lie. You're lying. Maybe 5 years ago. She was all, and you're like, no, I'm Chris Roper. I know what I'm doing.
That would be great if you ended the
these prices
conversation
look high.
that
Let me
way.
whip out my iPhone. CheckTarget.com.
Mm-hmm. And that worked.
Pwned. Oh, yeah. Destroyed them.
Oh, yeah.
When we went back to, she remembered it. We went back to buy the TV stand there.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, oh, you guys were in here for a TV the other day. I'm like, yeah. We didn't get it from you, lady.
You've been beyond.
Beyond.
P.T. Coakley says, anything new to report about SOCOM? No, but very soon there will be.
Ooh.
Stay tuned. I have a feeling that if everything goes to plan, you'll hear about it in the next week or two.
Ooh.
So maybe even sooner than that.
You heard it here first.
Not this week, but soon. Arjun Gamer 123 says he has a question regarding the recent 10 given to GTA. Here's another GTA question. Hillary stated that we don't give out 10s, or that we give 10s when a game pushes boundaries, and that GTA 4 pushed boundaries. Does that mean that every game from now on will have GTA as a standard when we review a game, or will the standards remain the same? So here's the thing. If you're reviewing a first-person shooter, you hold that up to Call of Duty 4, Half-Life 2, games like that. And if you're going to review a sports game, you're holding it up to Madden or NHL or whatever that happens to be. And if you're reviewing an open-world game, you're going to hold it up to GTA and Scarface. And so that's not really going to change. Open-world games have a much harder time now that we've seen GTA. So when Saints Row 2 comes out, that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, I mean this doesn't really change anything in large. It does make those sorts of games that directly compete with it a little bit different. But I mean, you're not going to see Resistance 2 having a different score because GTA came out. That I don't think is going to happen. So I mean, you might be able to say, okay, online, and maybe GTA has some online elements that weren't in Resistance or vice versa. That might kind of tie into it. Comparisons you can kind of make on that end, but I mean, as far as score wise, you're not gonna. Yeah, that's not going to change those sorts of things. So
he's probably also trying to think like kind of a lot of the questions that we're not answering with comparisons between something like an MGS4, where it's like they're two completely different genres. Like the fact that one is open world, one is more stealth action, has absolutely no bearing on like whether the score is going to be measured by one being released earlier or not.
Yeah. So the answer to that is no.
I keep wanting to say this every time a question comes in from that guy, but I had a roommate in college named Arjun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mine was Adam Hall.
Oh.
Did you live in a hall?
I did. I lived in. Well, wait. Did he live in a hall or did we live in a hall?
Did you both?
We lived in a dorm. Yeah, we had a hall.
Yeah.
There was a hall to the
But I mean,
outside of
because
our
some
dorm.
dorms are called a hall.
Oh, ours was Hatch. I mean, I don't think it was Hatch Hall. I think it was just Hatch.
Was it co-ed, single sex?
Oh, it was co-ed. Please. Like I would be anywhere else.
Related to co-ed, Frog Splash 45 says, I don't know what that means. He says, what embargoed games do we know about? What do you guys know about
Not
those?
related to co-ed at all.
No, I was talking about his name, Frog Splash. It seems kind of dirty.
Doesn't seem dirty. It's a wrestling move.
Whatever. Okay, again, so he says, what embargoed games do we know about? What do we know about said embargoed games? Don't worry. Tal is my uncle's friend, and I won't tell anybody. I have a hard time believing that Tal is your uncle's friend. I will ask Tal if he knows the uncle of Frog Splash 45. But, to be honest, closer to E3 is when we know more about embargoed stuff that's going to be announced. But a lot, like right now, most of the stuff that we know about is stuff that you know about, maybe a little bit more than you know, but nothing crazy. I know there's an announcement of some game that you guys don't know about next week, which should be pretty cool.
Do I know about it?
You might know about it.
Okay.
I kind of announced it. It's I mean that's an announcement for the readers next week. But a lot of the stuff that we maybe know slivers of information about unannounced games are kind of obvious things for sequels for games that have done well, and you can kind of figure out that hey, there's going to be another one of these games because it did well. But a lot of times,
OMG, Madden 2010 confirmed.
Yeah. So yeah,
Not me.
Yeah, we can say that EA is going to make a Madden in 2010.
I know. I have huge chunks of information that are embargoed that would make fans' heads cave in.
Well, there you go.
That's the kind of world I live in. I can't talk freely to my friends or coworkers. Well, coworkers are fine.
Is it Mortal Kombat DC?
I go home kidding.
Stop it!
That game's announced.
I don't think I know
I know.
anything super secret about that.
Yeah.
But other stuff.
Yeah. But the point
Big
is that-
time, Roper.
Okay. But the point is we know stuff about games that you already know of, and not so many games that aren't announced yet.
Oh, like
Which- Yeah.
Oh, I know an unannounced game, buddy.
There are some, but
Yeah.
most of the stuff. Anyway,
No one tells me anything.
no, you don't know anything.
Well, when Koei has an unannounced game, you're the first guy to go to.
First one.
There we go.
Zing.
That brings us to the end of our questions for this week, since most of them were about GTA.
Ending maltransmission.
I like that one. That was a good one.
That was incredible, or something.
Or something indeed. Ow, that hurt
Something.
my throat.
Yeah, we would do around the room except everybody's playing Grand Theft Auto. So
Wait,
there's-
that's not true. I'm playing 2 other things that are
oh
interesting.
snap, Ryan, what are you playing?
Yeah, I'm playing World Ends With You on the DS, but it's not a PlayStation game, but that's okay. And I'm also playing, here's a little game, PSP game, Gitaru Man Lives. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that game. It's cool. I like music games, so it's fun.
Huh.
It's got craziness, crazy Japaneseness. It's awesome.
That's good.
I'm playing GTA 4. Oh, also Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Kart.
I'm not bothered.
I
with
love Mario Kart.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
I would. You're right. I like good games, not Guerrero 4 or whatever.
You're gonna get some reader mail about that one.
Yeah, I know. Well, before you cast your stones, I would like to know that up next is Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week.
An obvious choice of GTA 4. Clements has written in SNK next to Pick of the Week.
What
Thank
medicine
you,
are you
Ryan
on?
Clements.
What cold
I thought
medicine are you
GTA
on?
came out last week for some
Nope,
reason. Sorry.
it did not.
He's high on NyQuil and other stuff. Don't.
This
don't pay
actually
attention to him.
says G.
No,
T-
now you're writing over it. That
A.
doesn't count as
No.
much.
See?
Yeah, that's right.
Four.
We're gonna
No,
scan
epic
this
fail,
paper and
Ryan.
stick it on the. Let me see this paper. Is there anything?
No,
we
it's
can-
fine.
It's
Alright.
an
He's got
epic fail.
embargoed games on there. You can't talk
Yep.
about that or
I've
unannounced.
got my notes
And
on
his
the
note
back.
on the back. The note of please turn my headphones down because it's too loud.
Because like you made like a noise like early in the podcast, like, or it's just something very simple, but it was like, "Ka-doom, doom, doom," and I was like, oh god, my ears.
I see.
Yep,
I'm gonna
This
turn you
kid-
back up now.
What?
I tell you.
What are
Hey.
we gonna do with him?
I'm trouble.
I don't know.
Whatever. I don't know what's
I'm
happening.
like a rebel.
Okay, now we're to the part that I hinted at earlier. Editor beatdown.
Yeah.
Ryan, announce editor beatdown, then we'll give details about what's happening.
The editor beatdown is going.
No,
to
what the hell?
Seriously?
What the hell?
Seriously?
He's phoning this in. I'm
I
sorry.
understand you are ill,
I'm
but you
out.
have been sitting here
I'm
all
out.
day not
I'm
talking.
done.
Jeff's done.
Jeff's quitting. Jeff's out of here.
going back to his desk.
Jeff's out of here.
Okay.
He's gone. Now
Jeff
let's talk.
is
Let's
about
talk.
this wide. I am making a very small wide gesture. Anyways,
Fine, I'll try
Come
to
on.
do it in my voice. We're gonna have editor beat. We're gonna have editor beat down tomorrow. GTA again, and we'll just try again, and it'll be good, and it'll be happy, and you'll be sad.
Okay, so that's good. So here's what's gonna happen is during the
Put your
day at some
headphones
point
back on, Jeff.
we're going to the four of us here are going to try to play amongst ourselves in the office to see if it works, see if we can get a game going. If that works and everything seems fine, then we're going to play editor beatdown at give or take about 4 o'clock tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. So, and if this is going to happen, we'll post on the boards and we'll let everybody know what's going to happen. And we'll try to do it a few hours beforehand so that you guys have some warning about whether it's going to happen or not. But so, if the online's working, plan for the 4 o'clock beatdown.
let's also tentatively shoot for 4:15 because we got to publish at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
And there's usually some hubbub at 4 p.m.
Yeah, so we might start a little bit after 4, but it'll be somewhere around there.
All right. We'll have a time when we post.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just make it official for 4:15 or something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, if it works, we'll try to do it. I guess around lunchtime or so. We'll do our testing, and then or when we get back from lunch, and then so hopefully we'll let you guys know by about 2 o'clock or 2:30 or something.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you if it's going to happen or not. Hopefully it does, because we had a lot of fun just in the lobby yesterday. But I want credit for my kills.
Totally.
I want some cash, cold money. I got ripped off with some upgrades.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. I played enough before we did our thing yesterday to upgrade to the 1 star.
Yeah.
And then when I started playing with you guys, it didn't have that on there anymore. It still said 0 stars.
I think I saw that you had it.
Really on my screen for sure it said I had 0.
Okay.
But I still had I had the new clothes I had unlocked by playing.
Well, I'll tell you what kind of sucks is I was playing a game. I played a couple of matches before I had to warm up, and so I was at 0, and then I needed like $300 left, and I had like $500 or $600 in this game.
And you had to quit.
And then you invited me, so I quit out of the game, but it doesn't count that money unless the round ends.
Nah.
So that's kind of bogus. But anyway,
Lame.
whatever.
Lames or
Yeah, so I want my upgrade.
Me too.
I want to get to the next level. I'm so close.
Upgrade.
Not that it's very much because I was just at 0.
Upgrade complete.
See, now you're doing your voice voluntarily. What the hell?
Look at this kid.
I don't like this at all. Fired.
Liar.
Oh.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, lol. Actually, not fired. Rehired.
Now who's going to review all those awesome
Rehired.
games?
Yeah, you get to review the SNK and Koei stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Rehired. I think that brings us to pretty much the end of the show.
New segment.
New segment related to Editor Beatdown. This is right.
Yes.
Ryan mentioned this before.
Yes.
Tear
Ryan,
the plastic off the box. Here it comes.
shrink wrap opening.
I am launching a very brief new segment this week, and I was contacted by a Beast786 about something that they do on the PS3 lobby on our boards. That was good.
Thank you.
I think we should do that all the
Okay.
time. Anyway, apparently
Even when he
they
doesn't
have,
write in.
apparently they have little tournaments amongst the readers on the boards, and they actually sponsor prizes once a month and to who performs the best in certain games. So it's kind of like Editor Beatdown, except they get a prize at the end, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, I just wanted to do them a little favor and then give a shout out to the winners of this week's challenge. So here we go. This week, the PS3 Lobby Community Challenge winners are For Resistance Fall of Man, which is an awesome game.
Beast.
We have 2 names, actually, so I don't know what that means. I guess they were completely tied. But Modilla and Chuani. Chuani. Don't know how to pronounce that. I think I did a pretty decent job. Congratulations to these 2 men or women. I don't really know what Chuani is, but Modilla. Nice. And that's the end of this segment.
We need a better finale to that.
All right.
It doesn't really have an ending.
Yeah, we need an ending to this. Congrats to these fine people who have won. And I don't know what else.
We should maybe.
Beast chose his winner. It's Modilla. The Beast chose a winner. It's Chunani. It's the Beast here. He chew on your ear. It's the Editor General Beatdown Board Thingamajig Clements.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty awesome.
I like that one. We gotta use it every week. What the? Okay, I got a message from Zombie Blog Neck here that says we have to put out our PSN hit. Is that what this? Or is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the hell that means.
Do we have to put out our PSN hit?
Zombie Blog Neck can't talk, so he can only communicate through blood on paper. So it's kind of hard to figure out what's happening here. Oh yeah, okay. So that's right. I forgot about this segment also. Ryan, you got to add this to our sheet.
Right.
So last week we called out Wheat Thin.
Wheat Thin.
Out of the air, we came up with Wheat Thin, and he was our PSN hit of the week. And hit meaning your mafia hit.
Yeah,
Kill him. So this week we're gonna create a new PSN hit. It can't be anybody we know about. We have to create a username. Who's it going to be? Let's make them up.
Speakerphone.
Speakerphone, that's a great one. I love it.
Spelled any way you can.
Okay, F or PH.
There you go.
I think it should be correct spelling of speaker, S-P-E-A-K-E-R, and then phone can be either P-H-O-N-E or F-O-N-E. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 2 of them basically that the hit's on. Speakerphone and speakerphone.
I say speakerphone 29. I'm putting a 29.
Oh, there's no way
there.
there's the speakerphone.
See, no,
29.
because now you're getting too specific. We can't do that.
I'm telling you, I bet there's a speakerphone 29.
All right,
if-
I will make that bet right now. You
if
can't.
there-
Oh well, damn. Because we can. The only way to do it would be if we immediately. All right, we can. Nah, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna immediately search when I get back to my desk, and then one of our readers will create it if they hear this on the podcast, and then the bet's off, and then everything.
Yeah, but you can if you search now, we'll know if he exists or not before
fine.
the podcast goes up.
All right.
That's the problem.
I didn't actually make a bet.
Oh, we're about to. What are we betting?
Nothing.
Ah, you're such a lame-o.
All right, so this week's hit is on speakerphone. I'm ignoring the 29 part.
Yeah, I was
it's
just
stupid.
kidding. I know it's kind of stupid.
Refired.
Although if there actually is an existing speakerphone 29, then Ryan gets mad props for it. Unless there was already a 1 through 28, and then 29 was just anyway.
We got to check before we put the podcast up.
We'll have to find out. Ryan, that's your job.
No.
That brings us to the end of the show.
Yay!
Do we have a song?
We do. What time are we putting this up?
I don't know. Whenever Ryan's done.
It can be whenever. Why?
I'm embargoed from talking about Secret Agent Clank which I went and saw last night. That goes up at 4 p.m. today.
So
though.
we'll
I can
post
put it
for
up
them.
after.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really talking about the game or anything. Go to the PSP page right now and read about Secret Agent Clank. But he will be our song today. I've modified the Johnny Rivers classic Secret Agent Man.
Oh, nice.
There's a
excited.
robot who leads a life of danger. To everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret Agent Clank, Secret Agent Clank. They've given you some bolts and taken away your lombax.
That's pretty rad. All right, so everybody, we'll see you guys next week on Podcast Beyond. And if you're around and want to play some GTA 4, because we know you have it, look for us tomorrow at about 4 o'clock. You can get to work. Check the boards. Peace out.
Peace. What it means to stay a stranger. Secret Agent Clank. Secret Agent Clank.